So Simon, I'm going to walk you through our new teaching plans and just how they're structured, because we know that teachers really want to make sure that they are hitting everything that they need to hit, and they want to know how any curriculum resource that they're using is aligned. I'm just in my school library and I'm just going to have a look at this unit here, Forces, and I can then access the teaching resources and click the teaching plan. And so what this brings up is a big document that you can view digitally, but that you can also download. Great. So if we want a Word document of that we can edit, I can download that here straight away.
Great.
So we can see here, it tells me how many weeks this unit is, how many sessions we've accounted for per week, and how many minutes each session is. Now, of course, that is definitely going to be different school to school. But I think it's quite important to look at, because you might go, oh, actually, we have 80-minute lessons at our school, so we might combine some of these lessons into one. We've then got our big ideas, which I know that you quite like some of those big questions.
Yes.
Some highlights of that unit, and this is the part that's brand new that I really like.
Okay.
The curriculum standards. So we've tagged all of the curriculum standards that are hit across that unit. So that's at like a zoomed out level, big long list,
I get you.
But we do go more granular. One thing that I do want to point out is that there is a depth study in this unit, and so that is tagged there as well. Then what we can do is, if I go down to week 1, I can have a look at my different types of lessons. We've got a lesson purpose, any prep, and then a bit of a timeline of how you might run that lesson, whether you might use laptops or not. If I scroll down, you can see, I've got a practical activity here with materials required, and then you'll see my learning outcomes from our syllabus that are being hit.
And I notice you have added extra working scientifically outcomes to aid the learning as we recommended.
Earlier today.
I didn't realise you had that in your program, so that's great to see.
Yeah. So this is a document that I think will be quite useful to teachers.
I'd say so.
And I think whenever you're using a resource, as teachers, it's our responsibility to evaluate that resource and make sure that it is aligned. But I'm hoping that these tags really support teachers to know exactly what they're teaching and where they're teaching it.
Great. I think most teachers will, first of all, just want to make sure they've got the paperwork done so that they are compliant. I know that's not why we enter teaching.
No.
But the fact that you can download the doc and they can literally copy and paste into perhaps their school pro forma program.
Let me just show the document. Here we go. Here's an example of what this document looks like in Word. And I know different schools will document things in slightly different ways.
Yeah, so I think a lot of schools maybe have that in perhaps a preliminary column or preliminary section, but that's easy. That's just a cut and paste.
It is.
So you've just made teachers' lives a whole lot easier there. So I think that's, they will really appreciate that. So as strange as it sounds, I think that might be a priority for many people. But then when you're looking at what are we going to teach, getting back in through the online interface, then there'll be, I was just looking there, you've got the experiments, you've got the equipments, they'll be putting in their equipment orders, doing the risk assessments.
Which are already done for them in Stile as well.
Which are already done for them in science Stile already, which is great, because often with various different risk assessment software, you have to provide a link to where you got it from. So happy days. Or even you can just, depending on the school rules, just produce something like, say, the Stile risk assessments, and that's done for you. Yeah.
But fully editable document. And if you had to add some additional columns, as you said, you might separate your learning outcomes into their own columns.
Yep.
And particularly around lesson adjustments, this might be where teachers document specific adjustments they may have made for students with additional learning needs as well. Yeah,
you often have that column for support, core, and extension. Yeah.
So Simon, I quickly wanted to touch on another resource that we have to support teachers, and that's the Stile Lab Guides.
Great.
Before we were just talking about risk assessments and how time consuming they can be at times. I just wanted to let people know that you can get your Stile lab guide from your library. So I'm just in our school library that we just created, and I can grab the lab guide from here. I can also do that once I check a unit out to my own subject.
Sure.
And so if we open that up, you'll see our gorgeous lab guides here. We've made a conscious decision to update these not to just include practical activities, but to include any open-ended investigations, engineering challenges, hands-on activities, anything that might require materials.
Great.
Just to make sure people are prepared for their lessons. We outline what people need. We love a visual. And the other thing that we include are these demos.
Okay.
So if you haven't done a prac before and you need a bit of a recap, good little watch, but can also be a great resource to show your students how to set something up before they go and do it.
Yeah. And teachers will definitely appreciate that.
Yes, it's something that a lot of our teachers really love. I also wanted to show people where the risk assessments are. Now, previously they used to be in our lab guides. They now live in a lesson. So I've just jumped into a lesson from this Forces unit, 1.1 using ramps. And you'll see here you still get that lab demo popping up and the lab guide, but you'll also see a link to the risk assessment.
Okay.
I can't log in, but if I was to log in as a teacher with your school details, it'll take you to like a completed risk assessment.
Okay, that's excellent. I mean, not every school has RiskAssess, but that is the most common one.
It is.
That'll be greatly appreciated.
Yeah, so for most schools we've heard of do use RiskAssess, so that'll be there for you, and then you can make your own copy of that. And then if you've got slightly different materials, you can update that, or if you've got specific different number of groups or specific adjustments that you've had to make, you can document them there.
And worst case scenario, you can download it as a PDF.
You've got the lab guide, and you can link to the prac from that PDF as a resource as well if you're using a tool other than risk assessment.
Yes. Yeah, this is the kind of thing that teachers are crying out for.
And I think it's something that a lot of people can easily miss. So I think it's important to know exactly what's available to you and what can support you to save some of that time. I remember when I was teaching, I was sifting through different papers and different pracs that people had given me over the years, and I'm testing things out, or I'm Googling how to do something, or, I'm hoping that this takes some of that stress away.
Absolutely. And it's specifically mapped to the quite unique nature of New South Wales syllabuses. So, that'll be really appreciated.
And look, just because we've got our suggested pracs in here, if there's pracs that you've used for years that you love and that are tried and tested and work, absolutely include them. Maybe even shoot us an email and let us know what they are, and our team can review them. But obviously you'll have to do those risk assessments separately.